At this time, we're back. Eric DeSobe here, joined by Emarciano. Emarciano works on our team here at KIP. Marciano, how many interviews do you think you do in a given year since we're wrapping up 2025 here? Everyone's talking about their Spotify Wrapped list. What is your interview number Wrapped list, do you think?
Yeah, I think closing out, thinking about not only on the teacher's end of things, but as well as supporting heavily with our residency program.
Hmm.
I would say on a given number, I want anywhere from 150, 200 potentially.
Probably more than that. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
You do a lot of work. Yeah, I was going to say you do a lot of work catching people on the beginning often of their teaching careers. What are you hearing about why people want to teach right now?
I think when we think about the landscape of education, there's a lot of need for quality education, and especially with just with the specific communities that we serve, underrepresented and underserved. I think we do see that education is a sense of liberation, and when you see these educators passionate about that and also just wanting to pay it forward because they've had educators that supported them and believed in them, I think that that's a large thing that I've seen, and a lot of career changers being made from that.
Are there certain experiences that you're listening for that people have had? Because more often than not, these people would not have been substitute teachers even or had any sort of traditional teacher training. Are there
Yeah.
certain things then in their life that they should have done that gives you more confidence they'll be good at actually working with kids?
Yeah. I think specific to the role. So, of course, if it's just an instructional educator that is stepping in for the first time, I think having that ability to collaborate. So, those skills of collaboration, being able to adjust in the moment, adaptability specifically, and also just that passion is also not really a skill, but something that is important to kind of hear and listen to. I think I've seen that really create educators and set them up for a lifetime of success. But of course, when we were talking about educators that have may have held a role for a few years, I think that that's also something that we want to ensure that, hey, not jumping from job to job, someone that's really tied to our mission.
So when someone gets to the end of our process for that teacher residency program and they have to do the final interview and prove that they'd be good at teaching kids, what does that interview even look like? Because is it only talking? Is there some sort of sample lesson people do? How do people sort of show that they are going to be good at working with kids?
Yeah, so there's several stages there, but for the final stage, we get them in person at our home office, and it's really honest. It's a great time. We have the residents, the potential residents, of course, teach a very brief demo lesson, about five minutes there, and it is a group interview, so they're teaching to their peers that are is also interviewing. But we're able to see those foundations of teaching. We're not expecting them to execute this and have a phenomenal presentation, but ideally we want to see, hey, how do they build a lesson plan using the bare bones of materials? Are they able to have quick teacher cues, whether that's callbacks, whether that's just that energy to be in front of kiddos, especially being able to rally, a classroom anywhere from 25 to 30 students. We really want to see like that energy coming through.
Hmm.
So I think those are the early steps, and then transitioning into some interview questions where we do some round robins. It's a really great time, and honestly, a lot of camaraderie is built as you see these residents going from not knowing their peers and then kind of that group effort.
Yeah, some bonding for sure. Do you, because people in your friend group or family group know that you work in recruitment and you're always thinking about interviews and resumes and applications, do they ask you for job advice or finding a job advice? If so, what kind of questions do they ask or what kind of advice do you give them?
Yeah, definitely. I actually have supported a few of my family members with not only resume building, uh, just overseeing a few things that they want to perfect, whether that's their bio or their experience, and making it a one pager. But definitely have reached out. My cousin just recently obtained a role as a program manager over at Lockheed Martin, and I was actually one of the first person that she had given a ring to prior to this initial interview stage. So I was
Yeah.
just giving her, the rundown of what they're not necessarily what they're looking for, but as a recruiter and someone that really wants to see someone and set themselves apart from others, I think that that is something that I really want to ensure that, hey, how can I support the best that I can? Because the market is tough in general, and not only in education.
Yeah. And then one of the things I appreciate about you too is you are on the Instagrams, you're on the socials, you're seeing what influencers are doing outside of work and those kind of things. Do you feel like there's a space for recruiter influencers, or do you ever consume that content? I'm thinking of like, here's 5 hacks to get through the interview at Google, or here's how to get your resume through the AI screen. Do you ever consume that kind of content?
I don't necessarily follow TikTok recruiting pages. I have seen them out there before. What I have come across when it comes to recruitment, whether that's podcasts, like at this time, of course,
Of
alongside
course.
a few other potential podcasts that I've listened to. Uh, I'm forgetting the name of them. I believe there's two of them that I currently follow, but you know, I've seen a few recruiter content being given, and I think it is great. I think it's something that where we're at in this market is something that we need, especially for those jumping into their careers or stepping foot in their very first job. I think that it's very important, but I personally haven't dove deeply into that realm.
How do you use or think through LinkedIn?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked that. Yeah, that's actually something that I think is very important if you are in the early stages of your career. Now, for those
Mm,
that may have had or may already in their lifelong career, I don't necessarily think it's not something that they can't use, but still a great piece for those that are really in the early beginnings. And the reason I say that is, when I graduated, I was in the heart of COVID, and
mm.
really LinkedIn was one of the biggest things for me when it came to networking. And I just kind of went full fledged, adding those that were in my field and trying to have conversations with them, whether that was 15 minutes. So I think it's for educators that are looking to jump into a role for teaching, or someone that's looking to jump into marketing, regardless of what it is. I think that there is a huge market or a network to tap into that some people may not actually be utilizing. So I definitely think LinkedIn is, I like to call it the professional Facebook, and really being able to just expand your network, because you really don't know the next person that you may meet might be the next potential role that you might land.
Speaking of network, last thing, you'll be out in person at a KIP event recruiting next week. Give folks a scoop on where they can meet you in person, and forget
Yeah.
LinkedIn, just shake your hand and exchange pleasantries that way.
Yeah, of course. No, super excited for it. We have our I'm not sure what number it is for our Kip and Sip, but they've been successful, and it's you'll see us at Prank Bar in LA. It's going to be on December. I believe we have it as December 11th, from 6 to 8 as of right now, and really great time to again expand your network, meet the team, and just really talk shop while having a few drinks on us.
Love it. Sounds good. We'll put all that info to that Kip and Sip event in the episode description. Marciano, thanks for coming on. Thanks for all you're doing for Kip. Thanks
Of
everyone
course.
for listening. Catch all the past episodes, all the places you get your podcasts, SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple, all the places, and of course, stunning 4K on YouTube right here. Thanks for tuning in. We'll check you soon.
Thank you.